guys, welcome back to Supplement Review. Now, this video is being produced in response to a lot of questions that we get about the budget end of the pre-workout market. Now, we're actually in talks with Dan from Subshack. We're going to be doing a whole video breaking down a bunch of different budget pre-workouts, showing you which ones are worth your money. But this is the first one that we're going to look at in detail. Now, the first of these budget pre-workouts that we're going to be reviewing in detail is Attack by the guys at Kodiak. Very distinctive yellow tub, and they've sent us the Gotti grape flavor. Now, I think that's some kind of American candy. Not a reference that I get, but if you do, drop a little comment below in the video and let me know, have you tried Gotti grapes? So Kodiak Attack comes in at $26.99 at the moment on the Subshack website. However, we do have a 10% discount code that'll bring it to you at under £25 for 25 servings. So that is about £1 a serving. That's about as good as it gets when it comes to the budget pre-workout range. Normally you tend to see sort of £1 to £1.50, especially where you get some of the more complex formulas. Now, as always, we've got a panel of independent testers who've taken Attack. I've taken this for a week and I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then we're going to have a closer look at the formula. But let's start with the public testers. What did they think of Kodiak Attack?
It's fair. That's quite nice actually. Taste wise, that's mint. That is great. That is well tasty, not gonna lie. That is one of the nicest ones I've had in a long time.
Mix as well. It's really nice. Tastes like the sherbet straws. I think it's great flavour, but yeah, that's really good.
Today we've got Kodiak Attack. It doesn't mix brilliant, as you can see there, but it's not too bad really. It's really nice. Definitely doable.
So here is the Attack pre sent over by obviously the guys at Supplement Review. Yeah, very nice. Very kind of that American kind of candy side of the sweet taste, but you know, really nice. Really easy drinking, mixed really well, so the texture is quite smooth, quite thin.
It's blue, so get some blueberry, blackberry, blackcurrant. Grape. Love grape. Tastes good. It's not chemically, it's not powdery. It's actually quite a nice drink. Let's train some legs and see how it goes.
Thought it was a really good tasting pre-workout. I believe I had the sour grape flavour. I thought that was a very good flavour. I'm not a massive fan on sour pre-workouts, but that one really done it for me. I really did enjoy that.
That's a fucking simple pre-workout, to be fair. I got a decent pump from it. Hit two working sets on my bench press, which is which I don't do anymore. So I was buzzing. Decent energy, decent drive, decent focus. I think hit PBs and all lifts, so well, double PB on my bench press. So I would highly recommend that one.
So I've had a chance to use the Kodiak Attack pre in grape flavour on 2 occasions now. So I'm not an expert on panels. I usually like to try them before I buy them, which is pretty much exactly what I did with this. Ended up ordering a tub afterwards. From an effects perspective, you know, you could feel it. It wasn't necessarily as high as stim as other products, but it was more beneficial from a focus perspective. Lasted the full session, and there's no crash afterwards, which is always a bonus. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
Really good, clean energy. Sort of snuck up and didn't notice it coming in, but it wasn't one of those that sort of hit you, you know, quite suddenly, like a big wave of energy. It lasted all the way through. I'd gone through everything that I needed to, hit the numbers and more. Extra sets, extra reps, you know, the full works. I was quite surprised at the end of it. Focus was there. I did find that in between sets, my mind wandered a little bit, and I had to sort of pull myself back in. You know, there was a good level of pump, that really kind of lasting fullness, lasting roundness that you get. Yeah, it was a really good session. Really enjoyed it. I think it's one that I'd buy myself as well. Gives you a good session, good energy, long lasting, no crash as far as I'm concerned at the moment. Yeah, good little pre-workout.
Attack. It's okay. There's nothing to write home about. There were no standout points to this, unfortunately. I mean, it tasted great. Flavour, I would give around about a 4. And effect, I think I would give it maybe a 2. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best.
So for me, the Attack I thought was a really good pre-workout. It gave me a lot of energy, focus. I accidentally double scooped it without realising, so I felt that my recovery was a bit slow in between sets as it's quite high stimulant.
Wasn't overly stim for me. I got quite a high threshold anyway because I do like pre-workouts. But no, it's good, focus is good. There's no down, didn't come down from it, and I do like grape, so that might have swayed me a little bit. It's good. Thumbs up, 8 out of 10.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. But what's in Kodiak Attack? Let's have a closer look at the formula. Okay, so we'll bring the ingredients panel up on the screen now and we'll work our way through it together. Now the first one is 3-aminopropanic acid. That is the technical name for beta-alanine, so 3 grams is a relatively decent dose. I think you normally see about 3.2 to 3.5, but 3 grams is acceptable. Again, this is a saturation ingredient where you're going to get the most effect out of it, taking it on a daily basis and hitting that saturation point. 3 grams will get you there. N-acetyltyrosine is the next ingredient, so that's a nootropic. It's going to help with that laser-like focus. 750 milligrams is a relatively good dose. Normally you'd like to see in excess of 1 gram, but again with a budget pre-workout it's not terrible. The next ingredient is a caffeine blend, which is quite interesting. So you've got caffeine anhydrous, which is caffeine as most people know it, and you've got caffeine dimalate in the patented form of infinite energy. Now the next ingredient is N-phenyl ethyl dimethylamine hydrochloride, 50 milligrams. Now according to Fitness Informant, who was very helpful in one of the videos I watched earlier, this is the compound in Urea jorensis, or this is the chemical name for the compound in Urea jorensis. 50 milligrams is on the lower end of things, but it should top up that caffeine nicely, and in fact the product itself does have a relatively decent kick in it. Normally you would expect to see more than 50 milligrams though, so that is a little bit on the low side. Next ingredient is one that I haven't really seen before, cytidine, 25 milligrams. From what I can see online, again, that is a slightly lower dose, but you are topping up a number of other stims here. And then you've got huperzine A at 50 milligrams. 50 milligrams is the dose I've seen in other products. It's again on the lower side. So there's kind of a theme developing here where you've got relatively decent ingredients, but the doses are quite low. And the cumulative effect of all those stims, in my opinion, is a relatively decent stimmed pre-workout that ends up giving quite a kick without very much crash. Now there isn't any L-theanine in there, which is what you'd normally expect to see to sort of taper off that crash. So I think that caffeine blend is smart to stop you just sort of having that terrible caffeine crash you get from pre-workouts that only have caffeine sort of after about an hour or so. Now this is where the formula kind of falls apart for me. You've got the Attack vasodilation matrix. So again, it's props to the guys at Kodiak. This isn't a prop blend. They've broken this formula down. 3 grams of citrulline malate at 2:1, so 2 grams of pure citrulline. It's going to help with the pump, but it's not going to deliver much, especially when you're used to seeing products with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grams in. Arginine, again, is an ingredient that I'm not a big fan of. Some of the latest evidence seems to suggest that actually it can have a negative effect on endurance, but at a dose like 500 milligrams, you really don't have to worry. Ornithine, again, 500 milligrams, which will help with blood flow on the lower side. Beta vulgaris at 100 milligrams is very, very low, and to be honest, I think it's probably just put in there to make up the numbers or to have the beetroot extract on the label. So, stim side of things, relatively decent. Pump side of things, really not very good at all. Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag formula. I think this is what you tend to find when you come to the budget end of the market, is that some things are done well and other things are just kind of phoned in. It seems like the pump side of this is phoned in. Stim side is reasonable in my opinion. So that's what's in Kodiak Attack. Now I used this for a week and I actually really enjoyed it. It was a decent daily driver where you didn't want something too strong. I probably wouldn't go to this for something like a max effort session, but where I've had back off weeks or where I've been doing some more hypertrophy bodybuilding style work, I actually really enjoyed this. Gave me a good buzz for the gym, didn't give me a crash afterwards, and actually didn't keep me up all night either. It's not super heavy stim, but it is on the stimmier end of the market. Now, despite some of the low doses that we saw, which means you're not going to get the full performance benefits of some of the ingredients, I actually really like this. But where does it sit on our overall leaderboard? So I'm going to put the leaderboard up now. I think Kodiak Attack goes here. It's a solid daily driver on the budget end of the market, which means you're not going to get the full bells and whistles that you'll get with some of the more expensive pre-workouts, but it's not a terrible choice if you're on a budget. In terms of strength-wise, I actually think this is pretty strong. I put it about here. keeps up with some of the products that are definitely, you know, sort of £5–10 more expensive than it. Now, in terms of criticisms, I would say that the pump side of this isn't really going to do very much. You probably would want to take a pump product with it, which kind of negates the whole point of going for the budget end of the market anyway. But I do like the stim profile in this. Who would I recommend this for? People are looking for a mid to high stim daily driver who are on a budget. You could definitely do worse. It's not a piss take, even though some of the ingredients are underdosed, but overall, I think it's probably one of the better cheap products on the market. I want to give a huge thank you to Dan from Subshack, who sent me the tub of Kodiak Attack to try, and make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that full video that we're going to be doing soon, which is going to be comparing some of the budget pre-workouts and working out which ones are our favorite. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.